Alright, to get started, we need to define some things. So this right here is considered an absolute max because it is the highest point anywhere on this graph. Right over here is an absolute min. Because it is the lowest point anywhere on the graph. In this graph we have a relative max and a relative min. They are the top of a hill and the bottom of a valley. However, they are not the highest or lowest points in the graph. And so in this point here, if you have a critical point that is not a min or max, then it is a point of inflection. So those are all of the different types of critical points that we have. Anything that is a max or a min on this page, so anything except for the point of inflection, is also called extrema. Taking a look at this graph, if we want to find the extrema, the first one we see is right here at the point 0,4. And because that is the highest point anywhere, that is an absolute maximum. This point over here is a minimum, but it's not the lowest point on the entire graph, so we're going to call that a relative minimum. And finally, this point over here, so this point was at 3,0. This point is at 5,2. That is not the highest graph on here, but it is a maximum, so we're going to do a relative maximum. If we're given the problem in equation form, we're just going to take a look at the graph anyway, and so it looks like this. So when I find this point here, I'm going to use the maximum on my calculator, which once again you're going to put an x over here first for the left bound and an x over here for the right bound. And my x value had an e-7 at the end, and my y value had an e-12 at the end. And anytime we see e negatives, that means the numbers are so low that really we have x equals 0 and y equals 0. So that's going to be a relative maximum. I'm also going to find the point over here, and there I'm going to use for my left bound and there for my right bound when I find the minimum in my calculator. So this is second trace 3 for the minimum. You do the left bound, you do the right bound, and you hit enter a third time when it says guess, and it says that it's going to be at somewhere close to 2, and the y value is at -4, and this is a relative minimum. Alright, so for the next problem we have x cubed minus 6x squared as critical points at x equals 0 and x equals 2. We want to know what types of critical points they are, and so once again we take a look at the graph. Upon getting the right window, it looks like this, and like this, and like this. And x equals 0 has a relative maximum. About right here is where x equals 2 is, and since that's not a maximum or a minimum, the only other choice that we have is that that was a point of inflection. And so once again you'll see more about points of inflection when you get to calculus. However, for this case, if you have a critical point and it's not a maximum or a minimum, It has to be a point of inflection.